What's up guys, it's Tommy here and welcome to a brand new Liverpool transfer news video. First of all, let me wish you Happy New Year and let me know if you made any New Year's resolutions. My New Year resolutions are I want to do more training, both running and I play five-a-side football. The season starts in like February or March for us, so we won the bottom half of the league table in our autumn five-a-side football league. So I want to do more training and I also want to upload more videos for you guys, so that's my New Year's resolution. I will try to upload as many Premier League related videos and also as many FC24 career mode videos for you guys as humanly possible. So that's my New Year's resolution. Let me know what is yours in the comments below. And Liverpool have a very strong interest in Wolves left back Ryan Ait-Nouri, because Klopp sees Ait-Nouri as a long-term successor of Andy Robertson. Ait-Nouri is only 22 years old and he is having a brilliant season for Wolves, who are really flying high. And if Wolves haven't been shafted by the refereeing errors, they would be challenging West Ham and Manchester United for a Europa League place in the Premier League. That's how good Wolves have been. And already, according to the Mirror newspaper and the Daily Mail newspaper, Liverpool have made contact with Wolves about Ait-Nouri, but they don't really want to sell him, of course, because Wolves are having a great season and they are trying to push for a European place, as I said. And if French outlet Le Temps Sport are to be believed, Liverpool have a very strong interest in Ait-Nouri. Editor-in-chief Alexis Bernard has said, "Our sources indicate that the player is indeed the subject of regular and insistent contact from Liverpool." So Liverpool are contacting Wolves regularly and insistently on the availability of Ait-Nouri. They want to persuade Wolves to try and sell them Ait-Nouri in the January transfer window. But Wolves will block any move for Ait-Nouri in the January transfer window because they have no intention to sell the left back, which is not really surprising as he's an ever-present in the Wolves team. And in this video we will take a look at Ait-Nouri's metrics and numbers and what he could bring to Liverpool if we can manage to sign him either in the January or in the summer transfer window. But I think in January we need a defender because Tsimikas and Robertson are still out injured. Tsimikas will be out until March or even April, and Robertson will be out until the end of January. And do we want to overplay Joe Gomez, and he has to play pretty much every game at left back? Do Liverpool really want to do that? I'm not really sure. And in this video we will also preview the big Liverpool Newcastle game. Let me know what is your score prediction for that game and leave a like on this video if you enjoy these, and subscribe if you are new around here so you never miss a video. And also we will look at the title chances, because at the moment, after Arsenal's absolutely horrendous defeat to Fulham, Arsenal's title chances went down considerably and Liverpool's and Man City's title chances went up by a big margin. So we will take a look at the numbers of what the Opta analysts and what the bookies say in the second part of the video. And I expect a really tough game against Newcastle, but we will preview that game as well. Liverpool have already rebuilt their attack with the signings of Luis Diaz, Cody Gakpo and Darwin Núñez. We replaced the favorite trio of Mane, Salah and Firmino with these new players. We have rebuilt the midfield in this summer transfer window that just passed. We signed Gravenberch, Szoboszlai, Endo and McAllister, completely rebuilding the midfield. Probably the defense rebuild is next because Robertson and Virgil van Dijk are getting a little bit older. They are still brilliant players and they can still play at a very high level for another 2 or 3 years. But Liverpool don't like to sign players when the others are not good enough anymore. We try to sign players in advance, so by the time Van Dijk becomes too old and maybe not good enough for Liverpool in 2 or 3 years, we already have his successor in place. Hopefully that will be Gonçalo Inácio of Sporting. We could sign him even in the summer transfer window or in January. Joel Matip, of course, is leaving at the end of his contract. Virgil van Dijk is already 32 years old, so he probably has another 2, 3, 4 years left at the top of his game. but we need to replace Matip anyway, so why not sign a centre-back to replace Matip as soon as possible. The one problem signing Ait-Nouri in January and playing him in place of Joe Gomez is that Ait-Nouri is an Algeria international and he's pretty likely to be called up for Africa Cup of Nations duty in January and February. We don't know the full squad for Algeria yet, so it's not certain. But if he will be called up, then Liverpool will probably pass up the opportunity to sign Ait-Nouri in January, because by the time we could get him back from the Africa Cup of Nations, Robertson will be back. And I'm not sure if we should sign Ait-Nouri as a backup right now. Since joining Wolves for around £10 million, Ait-Nouri has taken his game to the next level. He is a very attacking fullback who is very good at creating chances. His dribbling numbers are brilliant. Last year he completed 2 dribbles per 90 minutes, putting him in the top 1 percentile for fullbacks, which is really impressive. So Ait-Nouri started 15 games and in total played 17 games in the Premier League, so he's having a really good, very consistent season. He has an expected goals of 1.3 this season, which is the highest of his career. He also has an expected assist of 0.9 in total, which is also one of his best seasons in his career. But strangely, he still hasn't registered a goal or an assist, because even though he had already 9 shots this season, he couldn't score, and he also hasn't assisted his teammates, even though Wolves have been having a very good season. Ait-Nouri was just unlucky that any of his passes didn't result in a goal for Wolves this season. He also won 59% of his aerial duels, which is the highest of his career since he came to the Premier League for playing for Wolves. And Ait-Nouri is very versatile tactically, because remember, under Nuno Espirito Santo, they played in a back 5 and Ait-Nouri was playing wing back, but he also played many times in a back 4 under O'Neill at Wolves, and they have been having a really successful season. And now let's preview the Liverpool-Arsenal game, and Liverpool absolutely have to beat, Newcastle game. Liverpool absolutely have to beat Newcastle if you want to win the title, because now we have a genuine chance of winning the title, even though Manchester City are still huge favorites. Newcastle have the 2nd worst away record in the Premier League this season. I think that is a hangover from the Champions League season that they had, and also they have a lot of injuries. They have like half of their first team out injured, and they barely can make a substitution even during the game. So there are mitigating circumstances, of course, about Newcastle's form. They are still a very dangerous team. They still have very fast attackers who can hurt Liverpool on the counter-attack, and we saw against Manchester United how much Liverpool struggled against the low block defense, and I expect Newcastle to defend in numbers. Newcastle in 9 games only have 5 points away from home, 1 win, 2 draws and 6 defeats. So Liverpool should beat Newcastle, because Liverpool have the best home record in the Premier League and Newcastle have the 2nd worst away record. But you know how football is, sometimes it's very tricky. These games are sometimes the hardest to win, and Arsenal's title chances went from 26% during Christmas. It was 26% Arsenal's title chances, because they were sitting top of the Premier League after getting a point at Anfield. But since then they lost back-to-back games to West Ham and Fulham, and especially the Fulham defeat must be hugely worrying for Arsenal fans, because Arsenal probably had their worst game in 18 months. And definitely the worst game this season. They looked pretty toothless after Fulham got back into the game. Arsenal took an early lead, but then Fulham dominated them pretty much, and they were deservedly the winners of that game. And Arsenal's title chances went from 26% down to just 5.4%, which is huge drop in just 2 games. Man City's title chances went up to 63.6%. Liverpool's title chances went up to 27.8%. So I think that's pretty realistic that Liverpool are now second favorites for the title with almost a 28% chance. It's still Man City's title to lose because they still have De Bruyne, Haaland and some other players, Doku coming back from injury, and when those players are back, Man City will be a frightening team, and hopefully Liverpool can just keep winning. That's what we need to do. And crucially, Liverpool will play Manchester City at Anfield in April. I think that is a key game. If we could beat Man City there at Anfield, that could give us the edge. But until then, Liverpool have a lot of tough fixtures, and especially with Salah and Endo going to the Africa Cup of Nations. Mane is not at Liverpool anymore. He is playing at Al Nassr with Cristiano Ronaldo. So if Salah and Endo goes to the Africa Cup of Nations and the Asia Games, or the Asia Cup, whatever it's called, Liverpool will have, of course, a tougher time in the Premier League because Endo has been our best defensive midfielder in the absence of McAllister. Thankfully, McAllister will be back by the time Endo leaves. And Salah has been, of course, our best attacker. Hopefully Salah can go out with a bang and score a couple of goals against Newcastle, and then he leaves for AFCON. But Jota is just back in time for Liverpool, so I'm really looking forward to the Liverpool-Newcastle game. As I said, Liverpool are still second favourites in the Premier League, and we need to navigate this period very, very carefully. Luckily for Liverpool, at least, we have the next Premier League game after we play Newcastle is in 20 days. It's on the January the 21st against Bournemouth. So half of the Africa Cup of Nations tournament will already be completed. But we play Arsenal in the FA Cup, and Arsenal will be a wounded animal at the Emirates. They wouldn't want to go out of the FA Cup after pretty much surrendering their Premier League title chances when they lost to Fulham. I mean, I don't want to write Arsenal off, but it would take an absolutely monumental turnaround for Arsenal to rediscover their form and to overtake Liverpool and Manchester City in the title race. I think Arsenal's title chance was last season, because last season they were well clear of Manchester City, and hadn't they dropped points in the last like 10 or 15 games of the season where they pretty much capitulated and collapsed, Arsenal had a genuine chance to win the title last season. This season, however, even though Gary Neville said Arsenal will win the title, they haven't been as good, even though they strengthened their team with £200 million. Everybody thought Arsenal are stronger than last season, but actually they are weaker. The key games for Liverpool are, of course, this Liverpool-Newcastle game is absolutely key because Eddie Howe is under a little bit of pressure at Newcastle and he will want to get the result. And Newcastle have lost to last-minute winners from Liverpool this season and last season, so Newcastle will try to get revenge on Liverpool. But the Arsenal-Liverpool game is in the FA Cup and in the Premier League are both very, very crucial games. And also a resurgent Chelsea team could pose problems to Liverpool. I still think Liverpool are in a rebuilding phase. I still think Liverpool will just try and win every game and see where that takes us. Man City are still massive favourites with Haaland and De Bruyne coming back. They have the best squad and the best team in the Premier League right now. Liverpool are actually ahead of their development, if you like, because we completely rebuilt our midfield. But if Andy Robertson comes back at the end of January and Salah comes back from the AFCON tournament, that's the kind of boost that Liverpool would need to keep this title challenge going. Hopefully McAllister and Jota will be back starting for Liverpool in this period where we are missing Salah, and then Liverpool can win a lot of games. We probably, apart from the Arsenal-Liverpool game, all our other games are winnable in the Premier League. So we can beat Fulham in the League Cup semi-final. We can beat Bournemouth, even though They have been very, very good this season lately. The Bournemouth-Liverpool game is a very tricky game, and we play Chelsea at the end of January, and then February, the beginning of February, we go to Arsenal. Those two games, Chelsea and Arsenal, without Salah, those will be tough games. So I'm really nervously waiting what Liverpool will do in this January period, because last season we had an absolutely horrendous January. I think we won one game in like 7 or something like that, and we went out of the FA Cup, we went out of the League Cup. So hopefully this year, the January period, will be much better for Liverpool. Come on Liverpool, let's beat Newcastle. I really hope that you guys enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching, have a nice day, see you later, goodbye.